Good morning. My name is Nathan Hockman. I'm the District Attorney of Los Angeles County. Today I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke, the musician known as David, spelled D4VD, in connection with the brutal and horrific murder of Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time. These charges include the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring. That is first-degree murder with special circumstances.
She was 14 years old. She had a boyfriend she talked about online. She had a family who loved her. And on a quiet April day in Los Angeles, she walked into a house in the Hollywood Hills and never walked out. Her name was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and for nearly 5 months after she disappeared, no one knew where she was. Until a tow yard worker noticed a smell coming from a Tesla. What investigators found inside that car would shake the entertainment world to its core and put a rising music star at the center of one of the most disturbing murder cases California has seen in years. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now and turn on notifications. We cover the cases that demand to be told with the depth and respect every victim deserves. Stay with me to the very end of this one, because this story has layers that will leave you speechless. Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez was born on September 7, 2010, in Lake Elsinore, California, a small city in Riverside County, nestled between rolling hills and a sprawling lake. She grew up in a working-class community, the kind of place where families know their neighbors and kids ride bikes in the summer heat. By the time she was a teenager, Celeste was doing what millions of teenagers do. She was online. She was building a digital world for herself, joining Discord servers, connecting with people through music and internet culture. She was young. She was curious. She was, by every account from people who knew her, a girl with a big personality, a warm heart, and a future full of possibility. Her family knew she had a boyfriend. She talked about him. His name, she said, was David. They had matching tattoos, both reading SHHH, visible in photographs that would later surface online and become central to the investigation. Tattoos are intimate. They are chosen. They are permanent. The fact that a 14-year-old girl and a 21-year-old man had matching tattoos tells you something important about how deep this connection had been allowed to grow. Celeste was reported missing from Lake Elsinore in April 2024. Her brother later told reporters that she had disappeared after someone named David picked her up in his car. Her mother confirmed her daughter had been in a relationship with a man by that name. For months the family searched. For months they waited. For months Celeste was simply gone. April 23, 2025. According to prosecutors, that is the last day Celeste Rivas Hernandez was seen alive. Authorities allege she visited a residence in the Hollywood Hills, a home connected to David Anthony Burke, known to the world by his stage name, D4VD. D4VD is not a household name in the traditional sense, but in the world of viral music and internet-born fame, he was something significant. His song, Romantic Homicide, had streamed hundreds of millions of times. He had toured internationally. He had a record deal. He had fans who followed him online with devotion. In 2025, the same year Celeste was allegedly killed, he released an album called Withered and announced a world tour across North America and Europe. He was, by any measure, on the rise. And according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney, that career was exactly what prosecutors believe he killed to protect. September 8, 2025. Workers at a tow yard in Hollywood noticed something coming from an impounded Tesla. A smell, the kind that stops you where you stand, the kind you don't forget. The Tesla had been towed from the Hollywood Hills after being abandoned. It was registered to David Burke. When authorities opened the front trunk of that vehicle, they found the remains of a young girl, decomposed, dismembered, left there for months. Photographs allegedly showing Celeste and Burke together had surfaced after the discovery. Sources reported that she had resided in a rental property with Burke and had met him through the internet. She was allegedly a member of Burke's official Discord server as early as 2022, with other users at the time referring to her as Burke's girlfriend. An autopsy was performed 2 days after the discovery. The manner of death was ruled a homicide. The medical examiner's report confirmed that Rivas Hernandez died from multiple penetrating injuries and that her body had been dismembered. The cause of death remained sealed for months, until the week of Burke's arrest, when it was finally made public. For several months after the discovery, Burke was not under arrest. He had, according to reports, initially cooperated with investigators, but as forensic teams worked through the evidence, and as the scale of what they were finding became clear, the investigation intensified dramatically. In November 2025, Burke was formally named a suspect. He retained criminal defense attorney Blair Burke, known for representing major celebrities at that point. A grand jury in Los Angeles heard testimony from several witnesses, including Robert Morgenroth, Burke's manager and record label executive, who reportedly testified about the singer's activities in August 2025. Prosecutors alleged that Burke, along with an accomplice, dismembered Rivas Hernandez's body before concealing it in the car. Behind the scenes, investigators were working through something enormous. Evidence against the singer included a wiretap and up to 40 terabytes of data obtained by various law enforcement agencies. 40 terabytes, that is not a few deleted texts. That is a sweeping, years-long digital footprint, and forensic teams were combing through every single byte of it. Then came a detail that stopped the courtroom. Deputy District Attorney Bates Silverman told a Los Angeles County Superior Court judge that Burke's iPhone contained a significant amount of child pornography. That revelation, delivered in open court, 1 year to the day that Celeste was believed to have been killed, reframed the entire picture of who David Burke allegedly was behind the music, behind the streams, behind the carefully curated public image. On April 16, 2026, LAPD arrested David Anthony Burke at a house on Marmont Avenue in the Hollywood Hills. 4 days later, he was arraigned. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman alleged that Burke killed Rivas Hernandez in April 2025, months before her body was found, after she threatened to expose his criminal conduct, including the repeated lewd and lascivious sexual relations he was allegedly having with her. Hochman alleged that when Celeste threatened to publicly expose Burke, he invited her to his home, killed her with a sharp instrument, then cut her body into pieces, all to protect his entertainment career. This murder was committed for financial gain, Hochman said in open court. The financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening. Burke was charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances, including lying in wait, financial gain, and murdering a witness. He also faces charges of continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14 and mutilation of human remains. He faces the possibility of life in prison without parole. Prosecutors have not yet decided whether they will seek the death penalty. His defense attorneys responded firmly. The actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. We will vigorously defend David's innocence.
Enhancements and priors?
Yes, Your Honor. We believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death. And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity in order to establish that.
He pleaded not guilty to all charges. The day after the arraignment, Celeste's family released their first public statement. Think about what that family has been carrying. A daughter reported missing in 2024, found in a car trunk in 2025. A case sealed, unsealed, investigated, grand juried, and finally brought to arraignment in 2026. 2 years of not knowing, 2 years of hopping, 2 years of a grief so complicated it doesn't have a name. A preliminary evidentiary hearing is set to begin May 1st, 2026, just days away at the time of this video. That hearing, expected to last 4 to 5 days, will determine whether there is enough evidence to move forward to a full murder trial. Given what has already been presented publicly, the DNA, the digital evidence, the forensics, the 40 terabytes of data, the material found on his phone, the case against Burke appears on its face to be extensive. But he has pleaded not guilty, and in America, every defendant is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. That process is now beginning. What is not in dispute is this: Celeste Rivas Hernandez was 14 years old. She is gone, her family is grieving, and a system that should have protected her at every turn is now being asked to deliver justice for her in death. This case has ignited a conversation that is long overdue about how predators use online platforms, Discord servers, fan communities, parasocial relationships to access and groom vulnerable young people, about how fame can be weaponized to disarm suspicion, about how a girl can go missing, a body can sit in a car for months, and the full weight of the investigation doesn't land until years later. Celeste was not a runaway in the way that word is casually used. She was a child who met someone on the internet, who was allegedly manipulated by someone significantly older and significantly more powerful, and who paid for that with her life. Her name is not a hashtag. Her name is not a cautionary tale. Her name is Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez. She was born on September 7th, 2010. She loved enough to get a tattoo. She had a brother. She had a mother. She had a whole life ahead of her. She deserved to live it. If you are a parent watching this, talk to your children about who they are talking to online, not with fear, but with honesty. The internet is not neutral. Fame is not safety. And love, real love, does not ask a 14-year-old to keep secrets. If this case has moved you, and I think it has, drop Celeste's name in the comments, just her name. Let's make sure that in every comment section, in every corner of this platform, she is remembered as a person and not a case number. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications, because as this case moves toward trial, we will be covering every development, every hearing, every revelation, every moment that brings Celeste's family closer to the justice she deserves. And I want to ask you something before you go. A 14-year-old girl was allegedly silenced to protect a music career. A career built on songs about love and heartbreak, streamed by millions of fans who had no idea what was allegedly happening behind the screen. Do you think social media platforms and the entertainment industry bear any responsibility for what happened to Celeste? And do you believe, given everything we know so far, that justice will truly be served? Tell me in the comments. This conversation matters. For Celeste, always.